Hello and welcome to a new series of Hour Hotlaps. I just want to start this series off with an apology. Sorry for not uploading for a while. I know that you've been contentless from me for a while, but here we are. So, basically, just put in short, I lost motivation because really I didn't think my hard work didn't really bring much fruit. So I've now realised that I'm not really that much of a big YouTuber, and I should aim smaller, as in smaller videos and, well, smaller amount of views. So I've come back with a hopefully short series of our hot times. So what this series will be is I set myself an hour to get 3 of the fastest valid times I can get on F1 2020 on every track. Today consists of 3 tracks of Australia, Bahrain and China. If you're wondering why Vietnam is not in this video, it's because Vietnam and Monaco as well, they'll have their own separate video, because those are the hardest tracks on the calendar. So they'll have their own separate video. But, for the moment, we got FACECAM! Yay! So I did something, of which is invite you to FACECAM. So, yeah, here's my face. Anyway, let's get right into the racing. Now just imagine, going out for your first run of the day, you're all hyped up, you're going to start a new challenge. This is the beginning of a new series. This is a new beginning for you, and the first time you've been on YouTube for a while. And then you do this. Yeah, this is going to be a long day for me. And also, here's our best spin moment. Yeah. So, I didn't say this in the beginning, but I'm only going to be showing you the fastest lap of the 3 that we're going to average to get our time.
Okay, that last lap
And also that the gap
23.2.
time, which we're going to be comparing them to, are based on the actual lap records. I failed in this track so many times that I think I've probably mastered turns 1 and 2. Turn 3 and 4, which are going up to here. Turn 3 really likes to just say, I'm screwed with that. So, that happened a lot. So we're going through turn 7. Turn 7 is actually pretty quick. Turn 8, you have to brake decently late. And yes, I do use braking line. Don't judge. So as we're going into the corner just before the straight, that's not straight. It's decently fast, but you kind of have to take it really slow. So we're on the straight, that's not straight. Steaming down at 188 miles an hour, going to the far chicane that really likes to just ruin your day. DRS active. We're going through on the second DRS straight. We brake hard going into 16, going into 17, here we go, braking hard, going into there on the 90-degree corner, and then 18, it's really tight, that hairpin, so you really have to get it right. And then the final corner is just, yeah, the final sweeping corner. And as we go to finish the lap, we set a 1:23.03. Now, as we're going into Bahrain, we're in the Ferrari now, of which I think it's going to be a really disappointing year for Ferrari. But anyways, going into turn 1, really hard into the brakes. I also want to say sorry for looking up, but that's how I'm actually seeing the lap, because I can't see on my editing software. But anyways, going into turn 3 and 4, it's a really hard straight, followed by a really hard corner. You've really just got to lean the car in. And then 4, 5 and 6 are quite easy corners. 6 you're going to have to brake, 7 is literally just a sweep corner. 8 on the main hand is it looks just like a generic corner, but it really doesn't. It doesn't like the upside cage. Anyway, going into turns 8 and 9. These are my least favourite corners on the track, which I think is one of the best tracks in the year. But anyways, as we're going ahead on the straight using DRS wide open, going into turn going into turn 10 at 198 miles an hour, steaming in through 10 and 11, of which is the very soft S, going into 12, of which really will screw your day if you get it wrong. It's a really nice sweeping corner. Going into turn 13 and 14, of which can be treated as one corner, but well, I treat it as one corner, I should say, but some people decide to treat it as two. DRS wide open, going to cross the line for 128.2. Now moving on to the last track today. It's the Shanghai circuit that belongs to China. I feel this track is a pretty straightforward circuit with some really nice corners. Speaking of which, going into turn 1, pretty hot, and this is one of the most technical corners on the calendar, I think. Braking hard, but then you have to really let off to try and get a low speed. As we're going into turn 2, which is actually, it's quite nice and flowing, but really don't want to screw it up. There's turn 3, of which is the shallowest corner that I've ever seen in a while. Turn 4 is a really nice 180. I'm not going to put the song in before you ask. Now, here's turns 5 and 6, of which you can't. Sometimes you really get it wrong, sometimes you really get it right. There's no in between. Going into turn 8, of which you can treat as one corner, 8 and 9. Now we're going on to the straight that hasn't got DRS for some reason, and then braking hard into the 90-degree corner, that is turn 11. As we're sweeping around into turn 12, somehow clipping the outside curb, and then going on to the massive straight. Now, deploying DRS at 196 miles an hour, we are steaming down here. We have a 3.5 gap on our previous best. Now, as we go around the tight hairpin, of which you can really get wrong, so you really have to be careful. Sometimes you have to brake early. Then going into the second to last corner, of which it's barriers of which you really are wrong. DRS wide open to set the lap of 132.1. And here is how our leaderboard looks, with Bahrain in the lead, with a gap of minus 2.921 to the previous fastest lap that was set by Pedro de la Rosa in 2005. Then we have Australia with a gap of minus 0.854, of which is a gap from the 2005 Schumacher, of which had the car, of which arguably was the best car in Formula 1 history. Then we have China, of which we are plus 0.138 of a gap. That time was also set by Michael Schumacher in, well, take a guess. It is 2004 Ferrari. So, that concludes the first episode of Hour Hotlaps. I just want to say, I'm not great with FACECAM. This is the first time using it, so don't go hating on me. Please. Anyway, see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.